Welcome back to this brand new update of this Let's Play of Super Meat Boy. Into this video, just in case that you were still sick of the hospital, it's now time to earn your definite cure. By going into the dark world, where every tree is burning and dead. They really should make this an environmentalist hospital. All of the trees around here are dying, for crying out loud. But anyway, one of the themes that you're gonna see a whole lot into the dark world is levels where you have to backtrack through the original level layouts. Only though they added a whole lot more obstacles in order to make the going harder. This isn't the first level of the game which makes you do that, but it's the first one which specifically calls it back to you, considering that the level was called Backtrack. As for this level, it encourages you to play less like a moron because they added a whole lot more spikes or syringes on the side in order to make you go more cautious. This level is really neat, if only because it teaches you the merits of learning how to do really small jumps. Part of the initial level has been rendered a whole lot easier because... just right at the end, obviously. But yeah, the level is easier because there's no longer syringes and biohazard littered on the ceiling, but doing your jumps through the two saw blades all at once can be really tricky to pull early on. I remember dying a whole lot on this level the first time that I played it. In some ways, the hospital is pretty much the turning point of the game. Basically, it's a part of the game where you'll be like, okay, is this game for me or not? Because, okay, maybe I'm going into this part of the game, but I keep dying all of the time. And yeah, by the way, notice how come the fan navigation is a whole lot harder this time around. More so whenever you're reaching the end, if only because the gap between the two fans is actually really tall. But all in all, the hospital is a really nice world. I gotta say, from all of the worlds into the game, this is probably my favorite one, graphically wise, and it's also really good on a design standpoint as well, because there's a whole lot of variety into the level design, and overall, there's no level which play like any other, and oh ho ho ho, what a nice way of saying Chernobyl. Mon Chernobyl. Also, this level really makes me like the fact that there are silhouette shaded level into the game, because it really looks magnificent here. Really does a whole good job of conveying a feeling of doom and gloom, which is really nice, and yeah, once again it's the case here. Really dark levels like this one is pretty much where the game is at. There really isn't a single world into the game which pulls off atmospheres better than the hospital, which is one of the main reasons why I really like it. I mean, I don't like to play some of the levels of it because, I don't know, it's still kind of lacking in the feel of obstacles, and there are levels like this where you can also be like, oh, come on, this is not fun to navigate, more so considering that it's also really easy to die against the falling syringes, even though normally you shouldn't actually hit those, but, well, the hit detection of this game can be kind of finicky at times, you just have to be careful. But yeah, this level really does a whole lot of work in order to slow you down as much as possible if you decide to take the route that the game presents to you as being the one that you probably should take. But obviously enough, there's a way better path that you can take. It's a whole lot more daring, but it's about 1,000 times faster. As long as you figure out the correct way to jump through this thing, you can blaze through this level in a matter of seconds, and once again you can see that all of the obstacles are arranged in such a way that it allows for maximum speedrun capability here, for those of you who wants to do so. Speaking of speedruns, let's see how fast we can die into this level. Because yeah, this level kind of pulls off a dick move by starting you into the air. So basically, your first reflex will be to hold the direction at which you need to go and jump whenever the time will come for it. But guess what? You cannot jump. And it's kind of a shame considering that in overall, the previous level that we've played was far easier than the light world counterpart, if only because it's really easy to avoid the blobs. But coming back to what I wanted to say, well, the atmosphere to this world is pretty much unparalleled into the rest of the game. And this is further enhanced by the excellent music that this zone has. Dark World and Light Worlds, likewise, both have incredible music, and this is pretty much some of my favorite music into the entire game. It's really upbeat, but it's also really dark and kind of creepy at the same time, so hooray for music that manages to do everything all at once. Here, here, here. This level is a whole lot trickier than its Light World counterpart compared to 2.9 because, well, they added a whole lot more saw shooters, and obviously you have to backtrack through all of this. Instead of keys falling from the ceiling, how about saw blades raining onto your face? Oh boy, this level is a whole lot more crowded. You have to be a whole lot careful with your jumps here. And you need to be entirely careless concerning the level ending, because holy shit, I actually managed to kill myself and finish the level at the same time. You usually don't see that happen a whole lot. Oh boy, when I'm talking about levels that I don't like to play, this is pretty much the prime offender here. Yeah, I was lucky here because I managed to beat this blob into fastness, but yeah, the quarter or more the half of this level is just waiting for those blobs to get out of the way so that you can run along the ceiling and in order to get all of the keys and finally go back here. Yeah, not the most riveting level of the game, unfortunately. But come on, there's over 300 levels into this whole game, so basically you're allowed to screw up every once in a while. You cannot turn everything that you touch into gold. Sometimes there's gonna be glitters of badness into the mix. Yeah, this level is pretty weird because, well, the game intends you to go through this really precarious obstacle course here instead of just falling down gracefully and just having an obstacle-free zone here, but yeah, you can just ignore everything by going there, and usually you don't run into any kind of trouble, so I'm not entirely sure if this was a mistake that was done into the level design, or if it was consciously made this way in order to encourage people to try and pull off stunts like that in order for them to go faster and having better speedrunning times, because, well, as I've told already, there's a whole lot of speedrunner appeal into this game. There's still a pretty dedicated community of speedrunners that are still trying their hand into getting better and better scores for this game, which is kinda neat. So in the end, you're pretty much left thinking that, okay, this is probably done this way then. The ending of this level is a whole lot trickier than it seems, because you have to do this corner jump while you're being threatened by the impending doom of the laser, which is gonna fry your ass. It can get pretty messy. Oh god, can we outrun the laser? Yeah, about by 2/10 of a second or something like that. This was as narrow as it could possibly be. Welcome to a level that's a complete improvement in every possible way of the original level. No more forced waiting around, okay, and no more being careful business around here. Nope, staying alive is for chumps. But yeah, there's no more being, oh, we have to wait until this log gate clears all of the way so that we can get to the exit while waiting for about 5 seconds on a still platform, doing absolutely nothing meaningful. Also, that's a fuck-up laser cannon. Basically, there's a whole bunch of, I don't know if it's a saw blade or if it's falling syringes, but it really makes the whole thing look creepy. I like it. But yeah, this level is really not a huge shift of difficulty from the Lightwork counterpart. I mean, you've got more than enough room in order to dodge the laser, and finally you've got the whole thing which just makes you jump across a chasm which has 3 possible lasers, and these are the most predictable obstacles into the entire game, so yeah, and overall, it was not a very efficient redesign, I gotta say. Yeah, once again, they didn't change a whole lot into the way of obstacles here, although they added this blob here, which can be a pain in the ass, as you've noticed here, because yeah, it seems so innocuous enough, but then you end up doing some possibly stupid thing and you just end up overlooking it and dying. Yeah, once again, it's in the way even though I've taken my fastest time possible, so it's everywhere! And yeah, I don't even know why I've taken the key, because once again, just like in level 220, you don't need the fan in order to get all the way up here. A careful wall jump will do wonders for you. Try wall jumps. They will do everything that you want to do. So congratulations, you've managed to find the cure and survive the Dark World Hospital. But once again, we're not entirely done with this chapter. Coming up next, bandages that will die trying to get, warp zones where we're gonna have to do a whole lot of blob dodging, a brand new character, or maybe 2, or 3, and the horrible truth behind the glitch world.